So, it is almost 1900 hours, and this is a movie review, and it's Tuesday evening. So, I'm going to be reviewing Gemini Man and Bloodshot. Both are good movies. I rented them a few weeks ago because I felt like it and I was in a good mood and had money. Bloodshot has Vin Diesel in it, and Gemini Man has Will Smith. Comparing both of them, Bloodshot definitely beats Gemini Man in terms of quality and intrigue. Gemini Man beats Bloodshot in terms of changing up the assassin genre versus comic books and stuff. So I'll get into Bloodshot first. So I didn't get to see Bloodshot in theaters because coronavirus. I was excited for this movie. Like, all the hype that went into it was really good. The thing that's a drawback for it is the rating. Originally, it was billed as R, then it got dumbed down to PG-13. Bloodshot would have worked better with an R rating. That is highly true. It's still worth watching, though. You can still enjoy it. It's awesome. I watched it, and it makes you totally forget Marvel and DC movies even exist. It's so nice having a fresh take on someone new. It's a great entry into the Valiant universe, which is nice. I have never read Valiant comics, so this was brand new to me. I did enjoy all the characters that were introduced. They were amazing. They all were intricate, and they were all different from each other and not copies of each other like Marvel and DC do. And they weren't, as serious and shit. Well, I guess they were kind of serious, but not as, like, hyped up like Marvel is and DC is. I definitely enjoyed Valiant. Bloodshot. Yeah, like, Bloodshot was a lot of fun. If it had stuck with the R rating instead of jumping down to PG-13, that's one. It would have done a lot better. Honestly, it really would have. Like, the problem with comic book films today is that everybody wants to stay within the confines of PG-13, with some exceptions being R and whatnot. Everything works better in an R rating, especially a comic book film. Like, literally. Like, you cannot water it down. Like, Marvel films today are watered down for kids. And they're good, but they're kind of shitty too. It's like, if you want a real, actual comic book film that sticks to a gritty tone and whatnot, watch Spawn the series. Watch old Marvel cartoons. Hell, Spider-Man is a hell of a good example of that. And how gritty that is for a kid's show and dark as fuck. But anyway, back to Bloodshot. Like, the problem with Bloodshot, like I said before, is the rating. The cast is great. The story is great. It's a hell of a, foothold into... Or not foothold. It's a great genesis into the Valiant movie universe, which is going to be nice. But I don't know if they'll go forward or not, given, today's climate and everything going on. So, yeah, Bloodshot, definitely a 10 out of 10. It's really good. Like, it's a breath of fresh air. Because when you're so used to Marvel and DC shit, and something new comes along, it's like, oh my god, this is nice. Or if you're the hypocritical type where you have to analyze everything to a fucking period and shit. This is garbage. It'll never be like Marvel or DC. Nothing beats Marvel and DC. Okay. I highly recommend Bloodshot. Check it out. It's really worth the time and money, for real. I waited till it came down to $5.99 to rent. I am not paying 19. I'm not paying $20 fucking for a movie. Fuck that. Ugh, no, thank you. So let's see. On to Gemini Man. Now, Gemini Man, it does put a spin on the assassin genre. Why did I say that? Because it is an assassin movie, but it also gives it, heart as well. Will Smith fights basically his younger doppelganger clone and turns him into his own kid, adopts him and shit in the end and whatnot, and fights against him on it. The film is phenomenal. I can see why it bombed though. Like, that's why it bombed. The reason it bombed was the trailers. All the trailers hyped up all this cool action and shit. And there is cool action. And there is a damn good story to it. But it should have the trailer should have shown more than just the action points and stuff. That's where it failed. That's why it lost so much money. Everybody was expecting a straight up ass kicking story and adventure when in fact it's the reverse of it. But you get the build up to the action, then you get the story, and then you get more action, and then it keeps building. It's like an ocean wave, basically. That's what it is. It's an ocean wave of a story. You get story, action, story, action, story, action, and it weaves in and out of it, and I love that. It's good. The movie is definitely an 8 out of 10. It's really good, but it's like, as much as I want to give it a 10, it's an honest 8. Because of how it was billed and what else was it? There was something else I didn't like. There was something else that really threw me off, I think. Oh, Clive Owen. That's what it was. A couple scenes he seemed kind of bored in it. What else was there? I think if there had been more backstory on, I don't remember his fucking name. Let me look it up quick. Because I have my Xbox on and I was looking at this shit. Come here. Henry Brogan, that's it, yeah. If Henry had more backstory in the film and whatnot, I think it would have been a lot better. Although, let me see, Clive. There we go. Varys, that's it. If Varys had more backstory as well, that would have helped it out a lot more. But, like, the movie's good, but, it's an 8 out of 10. Like, it's a really good movie. It just lacks the trailers, kill it for, So, yeah, it's like, which one's the better of the two? Bloodshot. Easy. Bloodshot. Easily. Because you get, a whole new genre of comic book. You get a whole new person to get into. But I will give, due credit to Gemini Man. Like, the sequences and shit, the fight sequences, fucking amazing. Like, wow. They were really good. And Bloodshots were even more spectacular. And they really went all out for Bloodshot. Like, they really did. It's just the rating killed it. That's what it was. Like, if it had been rated, if it had stayed R, it would have been perfect. But I don't know. Companies and studios are so fucking pussified. They're afraid to jump for an R rating, depending on what it is. I mean, hell, and I also blame that on the era we live in too. Like, ever since, like, it's weird. It's like the early days of comic book films. There was no worry about a rating. Like, you could rate it anything. You had R or PG-13, and a lot of them jumped for R easily. Some of them started out PG-13. A lot of them were R. And it didn't matter. It never mattered. And then you had tons of unrated and extended cuts, and those even made it better. But I don't know. It sucks. And then you had the TV shows that pushed the boundaries of all that shit. From, 90s Marvel to Blade the series in 2006. And then even Marvel's Netflix, which operated under an MA balloon, which was really awesome. Um, but that's just how it is. That's how the movie genre is. And you have animated films of Marvel and DC that that's another debate. But DC films, yeah, they're damn good. Marvel animated, same premise. Um, Let me see what else was there. I love both films, but which one will I own though? Maybe Bloodshot, definitely not Gemini Man. Gemini Man is one of those you just watch it once and you're like, good enough. Bloodshot, I definitely do want to get that because there are deleted and extended scenes that were cut out that I want to see and see what was cut out. Because usually that shit is why it was a better film. Because it's always shit that gets kicked out that made it better. I hate that so much. So, what I recommend is to you and friends. Obviously, check them out. See if you like them. If not, that's okay. Shit happens. This is just my review and how I feel about and how I see them. If you're not in the comic book films or assassin films, you don't like the cast, you don't like the premise, you don't like the studios, everyone involved, all that shit, the colors, the titles, the thumbnails. You don't like any of that shit, don't watch it. If you do, check it out. If you are racist, you won't like this. If you aren't racist, you'll like this. Let's see here. I think that's about it. Like, I mean, and it's a big prop to, Ang Lee doing Gemini Man. Because if you rewind the clock back 17 years to 2003, Ang Lee brought us a wonderful Marvel film in the form of Hulk. And a lot of people didn't like it at first, and then they enjoyed it, and now it's like underrated as hell. Because it's an actual fully fleshed out comic book film. And I love that. It's so beautiful. But yeah, it's nice to see, Ang Lee come back. It's awesome, but ball kind of dropped on the film. Shit happens. So stay tuned. I will be back. I have more reviews.